Welcome to Pro Se Lawsuit Center. I'm Coach Neighbors, and in this video, my partner and I are going to talk about a question I get asked a lot. Question is, what should I file first, Coach? You want to say hi? Come on. I brought somebody to work with me today. You guys, this is Lily. She gets to come to this office with us, but she ain't quite caught on what we're doing yet. Say hi, Lily. Hi, everybody. She's just chilling right here. Yeah, we're training her to be a service dog. She's my new buddy, and we're going to be hanging out together. It's just a lot easier to train a dog to be a service dog when you don't have roommates that are giving the dog treats to go to the bathroom behind your back and all kind of other stuff, like the last one that I trained, just you and I. Okay. Yeah, we did come to do some work today. Don't be getting no trouble in there. Yeah, I'm feeling confident about that. She's listening to me. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about, people always ask what to file first. And, and most of the time, I used to tell, okay, what did the instructional video say to file first, Because if you want help, you got to come and bring something to the table. Otherwise, I'm just telling you what to do. But I'm going to kind of tell you what to do anyway. Kind of, sort of, because it keeps changing. It changes as we learn from the real-time feedback from all the power punching that we got going on right now, especially with the stopping the eviction process. That new $300 RICO eviction, yeah, we got 3 and we got another one up on the deck already, and we got one already on the deck, but they're kind of stalling, so yeah, we're getting stuff done. Okay, so to get right down to it, if you watched the instructional video and you went to the website at first before you bought the stuff and you went to the most asked questions and answers section to get yourself educated, and then you went to @neighbors_coach on Twitter, was where we do the free coaching for anybody who don't invest in a premium package. You can learn a lot from going there, educate yourself. Okay, so let's just come on close. Let's go. Okay, y'all going, all right, so. Okay, when people ask, what do I file first? The first question I'm going to ask you is, are you planning to answer or are you planning to reply? Because if you're going to answer, you're answering to their stuff, and, you're not using the power that you invested in properly. Or you can reply, which is what we do. Now, what the hell are you talking about? Y'all keep up. All right, because there's going to be a quiz. Okay, so the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure mandates that, you're not required to answer if one has defenses. It doesn't say anything about offense. Yeah, we're going to the table with offense. We ain't going to the table with no defense. You stop being a defendant here when you add their asses to the counterclaim for, like we teach you how to do in the counterclaim strategy. We are bringing offense to the table, so we trump without answering their lies. Without having to answer to their lies. People are rushing around, whatever. Chunk that old school shit out the back door, because we don't do some new stuff over here. The judge is not going to be fair, so why take the punches in their conventional system, which they structure to punch you in the face while you're trying to defend your stuff? Oh, excuse me. That's not why they structured it. They structured to slow your ass down until they get the people in front of you lined up and out the way. Okay, they're taking so many people's stuff, they don't have time. They streamlined the system? No. What do you file first, Coach? Okay, so our goal here is service. And my goal is service. Our goal, everybody, because that's what we're doing here. We're servicing as a catalyst for thought, emotion, and action. That's what we're doing. Your goal for using the lawsuit package and what your goal is for using the documents, they must be parallel to one another. Okay. All right. Okay. So what's the goal? Okay, we got a commercial break on the goal from winningcourtnell.com. Okay, break's over. Look, if you guys been watching my video, y'all should know what the goal is. The goal is to stop the court process. Bam. That's it. We ain't got to win nothing. They ain't got to judge nothing. They ain't got to decide nothing. They just got to stop that shit and get the hell out of your way. Out of your face. Leave you alone like you did Henry. Respond to the thing down there that they couldn't respond to none of the stuff. They just provided affidavit of proof of service, which they didn't serve him because the man was sick and in the hospital. But that don't matter. Because that's all they can. Nicole, she just got done in New York. And there's already the pounce on her. Been giving her a hard time for 9 years. They've been giving Nikki a hard time for 9 years. And then they had to adjourn that shit until the 17th of October. A couple of months down the road. Yeah, well, the attorney didn't show up. We about to just move on for summary judgment because there ain't no adjourning shit. He might not show up again. Who got time for that? And I had no idea how much time it took not to run down there for Nikki to run down there and be ready for court. How much time it took for her running back and forth while the clerk was the one throwing her under the bus. The real-time feedback from the fighters in this group. Yeah, we adding a clerk to the program. Okay. The first goal is to stop the court process. And we generally do that by filing. If they have a case against you, then you want to just use the counterclaim. But before you file it, you want to add the government to it, whether it's the state or the federal government, doesn't matter. You add the states a lot easier, and you get to kick them twice for the federal and for the stuff they're doing wrong on the state. But the federal, yeah, we bring it for federal too. We ain't playing. Criminal statutes are non-valid laws. Title 18's never been ratified, so all that's, Stop the court process. Not get a judgment, win, have your day in court, none of that shit. We just want to stop the state court process, and you do that by either, the way you should be doing it is filing the counterclaim. But you want to add the players to the counterclaim as plaintiffs. So you're adding them to their own stuff and sticking it right in their face without having to pay filing fees, without having to serve their asses, without having, I was getting a little hot in the classroom today. I think that's why my dad Lily decided to go in there and chill. I think I was getting too worked up for her. Stop the court process. That's the goal. So how you do that? Well, you're not going to win on. You're not going to get the state court to give you anything. So you might as well just add their parties to their own stuff. Parallel one another. The goal for getting the package is to stop the court process. And the goal for using a document is to stop the court process. So, in the beginning, we had a whole bunch of documents, and now we have a handful, except for in the premium package for the foreclosure, and also the commercial package, which is also going to be the property protection package. Those documents have a bunch of extra stuff in them, but, just keep it simple. Stop in the court process, okay? We don't spend any time litigating nothing on a state court level. If you're doing that, then you either don't have the money to I'm working in here, girlfriend. I'm working in here. Give me the ball. Okay, yeah, see this guy here yesterday, so we got a lot of work. It's an easy way to look at it. So if we don't answer, we don't do this stuff, we don't move anything, we stop the state court process. Now, we're stopping it now with the counterclaim strategy, adding the players to their own stuff as plaintiffs. That's a hard punch. That's a hard 2-3 punch, And before that, we were stopping by filing the case in federal court and adding the state players to the federal court, filing and serving them, and then that was a wrap. But we're learning how to do it right now and just keep it right in the state court level with this RICO situation that we got going on now. So the goal is to stop the state court process and get over to federal court. It's that simple. And then on federal court, if it was me, when I got to federal court, I would be ordering, after they were served, and I wouldn't wait for their dates because they can't answer. If they couldn't answer on the state court level because they can't respond to federal case law with statutes and codes, they're still not going to be able to answer on the federal court level, which would put me in a position to demand the judge order them to the settlement table in the interest of preserving the court's resources. But you shouldn't laugh when you say that. You got to be serious, like you really feel for the court. Now, the other way we stop this, filing the first document you file in the state case, they can't respond to it. So it's checked down to get them in the corner, and they're toast if you do this right. And they can't respond to federal case law or federal acts with statutes and codes. That it doesn't go that way. How we got here, I was forced to sit in long court hearings, federal court, with no control over my fate or the fate of my wife or anybody else in my family, and most of that time chained and shackled and treated like an animal. That's when I figured out that the court process needed to be stopped. And people tell me that I'm crazy when I tell them that everybody's stuff is the same. Everybody's stuff is the same. Everybody's legal problem is one and the same. And in keeping things simple, the differences is the strategy tweaks for like criminal foreclosure, debt collection, those kind of things. And basically those strategy tweaks are based off of the severity or amount of time or whatever. Okay, but everybody's stuff is the same. And this is the reason why I don't have to hear everybody's big old long story about all of these things. Everybody's stuff is the same. It's the same because everybody's due process is being violated by the state's administrative court process and procedures. Statutes and codes are not valid laws. So you're being violated at the gate. Everybody's stuff is the same. You're being violated at the gate. The judge has a conflict of interest as she is paid by the government violating you. I'm pretty sure that spells conflict of interest. The judge is getting money from all of that stuff, a pension, I'm sure. Okay, I'm not sure about the money, YouTube, but I am sure about the pension. If the judge wants to come and argue about the money, the first document that I think I would be filing is a $200 million counterclaim. I would first add the parties to their own action and file that counterclaim right in their stuff without filing fees, without having to, they can't litigate a case they're party to. They can't represent other people from the same firm. And if you want to be crappy about it, you can add the State Bar Association to it. Bam! And now nobody from the bar can represent them. Then probably what I would do after you get done crushing the state process is cloud the title. Cloud the title with judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance and judicial notice of lis pendens, styled like a document to file in your case. And you can do this yourself and just file it in the case. Style it like a document with the case number, all that. And then I would take the regular notice of fraudulent conveyance and the regular notice of lis pendens down and place them on the public record next to the deed to let everybody know that the property is clouded and there's litigation pending. And then I would serve a copy of those documents to the parties that's trying to steal your stuff. Now, for all of you people that aren't in default, I would still get I know it's a $99 package and a $150 package. I think it's something, I'm not sure what about. I would still get that package and cloud your own title. You can cloud your title so you don't have to worry about nobody moving up ahead of you in line trying to jam up your property. It's better than title insurance. So we stop the state court process and then file the claim in federal court. That's how we do that. And generally we use the federal court filing to control everything. But this RICO situation that we got going on right now is doing a real good job of forcing them to play hot potato or enforcing the judge to recuse, step aside, and get on out the way. We learn how to cut to the chase. So if you're already in federal court, then I would file in a different judge's court and make sure I have the chief justice or whatever, not no magistrate judge, because you guys have plenty of videos on that. And then what we like to do is use a certified copy of the court docket sheet as evidence in federal court that you were violated just last week. Most of the time I say state court, but I'm saying just court now because people overthink shit and get it twisted in their head. They are automatically thinking that it ain't, I can't, no. We don't roll with limitations around here. Okay, so, yeah. So we get a certified copy of the entire docket sheet to take with you for your federal case. And now you can prove that you were violated just last month. Spotlight on recent due process violations connected to the court process. So now you're not thinking about answering to their shit. You're thinking about putting yourself in position to address the why. Why they're able to do what they did to you. You can answer the what all day long and they're just going to keep doing it. Until you get to the why they're able to do it, they're going to keep on doing it. And you get the why here. So don't worry. Don't worry. You get the why here. Remember, the state players cannot respond to your federal lawsuit without a federal bar card. So even in federal court, they still can't respond. And if the federal judge helps them, the magistrate judge tries to help them, then you just do a supplemental pleading. That's how we make changes to our documents if we need to. If you want to learn how to do that, you can go to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure and look up the amendments, how to file an amendment and kissing their ass and all that shit, and scroll down to the bottom of that shit. All the way down to the bottom, you'll see it says supplemental pleading. You can do a supplemental pleading anytime. The only requirements, there are like several requirements. I think I can remember a couple. Y'all ask not to go look them up just to make sure because I'm getting old. Okay, but you have to, if I remember properly, add a body, account, or both, and it had to be connected to the original reason why you was there. There's one other thing. You don't need to go over there. So y'all better go check that out to make sure I got that lined up right. Because I'm getting old, I could be off base. But that's how we do it. Now, if the federal judge says no, go jump in the link, then whatever, then you add the judge. That's how, anytime you get jacked around, you need to hold them responsible for what they're doing. They're in an administrative setting. They don't have any judicial authority. They don't have any immunity. They don't have shit except your fear that allows them to do what the hell they're doing. So that's how I use the package. At the end of the day, all those documents, really, you would be using we used to use in federal court to have fun with. But if you go to the door of the federal court demanding that they order their ass to the settlement table, like we have written over here because we ain't going to no trial, to the settlement conference, okay, now, if the judge denies you, I'm pretty sure the judge is not going to provide the finding, the facts, and the conclusions of law. So they just made an administrative decision to throw your ass under the bus, which is the reason why you were there in the first damn place. In federal court, hell yeah, they'll throw your ass right under the bus if they can. If they can't, they're going to tell them to get that just like they did over here on the state court in the eviction thing. Get that stuff out of here. Yeah, we ain't having it. So that's just a rundown in a nutshell real quick. So it don't have to be complicated. We ain't litigating nothing on the state court. Stop the state court process. Get your lawsuit filed in federal court. Add a statement of constitutional emergency to your lawsuit so it gets moved up on and then order to have the judge order them to summon table because if you're coming out of state court, they ain't going to be able to respond. Our program crushes the state court crap. Criminal or federal, state. Come on, bring it. We're crushing it. So get over to winningcourtnow.com and take a look at your options right now to take charge of this situation. Let's go.